Alright, sorry it's taken me a while to make another video. You remember the Super Bowl that was here in Texas, and did you hear about all the ice that we had? Well, that really screwed me up. Anyway, Rb30, this is the head. I took the cam gears off, and now I'm drilling the oil feed to the VCT, variable cam timing. So I drew a pilot hole. You want to do it in the line right here where you I threaded and tapped a plug. So there's my pilot hole. And what it's going to be is I'm going to drill and tap it for a compression fitting, which will go right here. And then the line, I have some line I'm going to use. And what is going to feed the oil to there I was always kind of nervous seeing, I've got an L28 ET straight 6 turbo. The Rb25 guys, here's my Rb30, almost all put together. But I was always a little jealous of all the stuff that you can buy for Rb25, 26. Headers and stuff that I can't buy for mine. There's a L motor. You can't buy stuff like that so cheap on eBay. Well, I'm not so jealous anymore. Here's the headers off of my Rb25. Well, let me shut this off. It had a big hole. Had a big hole right there, so I welded that up. And it had a weak spot right there, so I kind of touched that up a little bit. But the material is so thin. I mean, it's not stupid thin, but it's pretty close. So now, this one that I welded, I've got to go inside. I got some wire. I got to clean that up inside. But anyway, we're getting there on the 30. All the power steering, AC compressor, alternator, which all of that, it's all hooked up to work. Power steering and AC. So Rb30, full functioning AC, power steering. Gotta love that. Here's what everybody has a problem with. Look, this is a Gates timing belt T291. That's a 152 tooth belt. And the what do you call that? The tensioner? Not an idler pulley. I guess a tensioner. Had to drill and tap the tensioner farther up, because the stock is down here and I guess the belt's too close. I'm just going off the internet, what everybody says to do. Drilled and tapped my oil thing for the variable cam timing. So, right here, I got to run a line to that, but I drilled in here, tapped for that, and then that's going to run. I'm going to run a line through here, not to the oil filter, but to this. This was plugged on the Rb30 block. That's where the Rb25 oil pressure sending unit is. Right there. Or no, that's where the Rb30 pressure sending unit was. The 25, it's on the oil cooler. So I'm still going to use the oil cooler because it's an oil cooler, But let me get something. Check this out. Now, maybe it's because I grew up poor. I make things out of nothing. I can't help it. I see something in my head, I picture what it needs. I guess I fabricate. okay? I'm a frickin' fabricator. Well, anyway, the line going to that variable cam timing, I got to have a feed for it. So I took a 240Z, 70 to 73 oil pressure sending unit, and I cut off the end that goes onto that. All right, I cut off the end. Look at that. It's already restricted to what I want to restrict the oil going to that variable cam timing. So my oil cooler is going to mount here with the sending unit. This, then I drilled and tapped. All right, that right there. Now, to get the tap in there, I had to cut. I initially tapped it, then I had to cut my tap in half so that it would, tap it as much as needed. Well, anyway, so that's gonna go there. I'm gonna run the line to there. Variable cam timing, oiling, solved. Really, that's about it. I was working on these headers and I didn't even notice. So on this side, you have to grind down the water galley, I guess is what it's called, a little bit. This is what it looks like stock. Well, the header won't fit on there, so you have to grind it down. Sorry, I was a little ugly with that, but so anyway, I was just getting the headers mounted on, and notice a freaking hole in the header. So anyway, all that, it's all timed. I learned a lot putting this together because I've never worked on an RB motor, but it's got lots of cool stuff that the old L just doesn't have. I've got a spec pressure plate that's going to go on it. Pressure plate flywheel was on the car. So that's about it. We're getting close. We're getting close. Well, I worked on this all day yesterday, and it's on the ground, which I feel bad about, but I got another block on my engine stand, so well, anyway, let me see if I can think. I hit a spot, and I'll show you. It just frustrates the hell out of me because this cheap freaking header, it's not lining up. I don't even know how the other guy got it on there. He had, I think, 2 studs broken, 2 or 3 that I had to drill and tap. Just tedious stuff like this. Probably been working on that for close to 2 hours, patching a hole. Just so I'm tired. I'm done. It's Sunday, and I'm just gonna work on another day. Anyway, you have to use the Rb30 oil pan, and I had to cut out. Here's the Rb30 oil pan. The 25, it has some baffles welded in here, which I will show you exactly what they are. Right here, just little baffles tacked to the bottom of the pan. So anyway, you got to cut those out. Talk about frustration. Here's the cam gear that was on the 30. Well, I could not get that sucker off, so I welded some bolts on there and used my flywheel puller. And I had to cut the head of a bolt off to get the puller back off, but finally got that thing off. I had to take that off because I'm using the Rb30 oil pump. Here is the Rb30 oil pump, and God only knows how many miles this motor had on it, so I didn't want to use any Rb30 stuff, but I got to show you this water pump. I use using the Rb30 water pump. Look at this Rb30. Man, I'm telling you, when I couldn't get that gear off, I almost was going to say screw it, just use Rb30 oil pump. I was going to leave the water pump on, but Look at this. Look at this water pump. You think that was getting much flow? Look at that. And there was some, I cleaned the block out. There was some rust in there, which now I know it's got to be from that blade. So I'm guessing the RB30, I'm guessing it probably eventually overheated, and they probably, junkyarded it, I guess. That's my guess. Probably warped the head. Hopefully the block looks great. So even if there's something wrong with it, my long-term plan is to, of course, do forged pistons, rods, all that crap. I'm going to make a monster out of it. So anyway, Rb25 oil pan. I use the 25 oil pump, the 25 water pump, the 25 power steering pump, the 25 AC, the 25 air conditioner, the Rb25 harmonic balancer. And this is all off the 25, just because it was so much better and newer looking. All the belt tensioners and all that crap is all from the 25. Rb25 knock detectors. Anyway, let me show you this header. This is just frustrates the hell out of me. I already had to file the holes out because the bolts, I mean, it was just kissing the side of that stud right there. Look in that hole. Man, it doesn't even line up, man. Look at that other one. So I gotta take it back off. I gotta open those holes up, and so that's my stopping point. Ugh. But the oil drain, I've got a T into the drain, the turbo drain. Probably gonna need longer oil lines for the turbo. So there's still stuff like that I'm gonna have to order. So it's still a few weeks from running, but it's all together. Got a Cometic, I don't even know, head gasket, Cometic, whatever, solid head gasket. I think it's a 1.5 maybe. So I got that in there. I don't know. It's coming together. I'm just gonna stop. Let me think. What else? Run the brake line. I got brake line for the variable cam timing. I'm really just trying to make a long video because YouTube, I've been approved for a 15-minute video, so let's string it out a little bit. Another thing, these are the motor mounts. These are the motor mounts that were in the car for the 25. Just a solid piece of aluminum. Well, before I do this, if you guys leave me comments, I'm going to use, because I think they're in the exact same spot, I'm going to use the Rb30 motor mounts, which are still on here. Nice rubber mounted. To be quite honest, the motor's going to be pretty stock for a while because I don't have, ECU, injectors, fuel pressure regulator, fuel pump, all that stuff that supports horsepower I don't have. Or the car may have a aftermarket fuel pump, I don't know. Just going to use that turbo that came on it, which is, the turbo is tiny. It's a 70 AR on the cold, but a something crazy, a 4.3 on the hot. a 4.8. So I got a 4.8 hot side. So it'll spool nice and quick. It's a Garrett. It's a brand new turbo. So I bet probably won't have any lag, but I'm just going to run whatever stock boost is. 9 pounds. I don't even know. 7, 8, 9, 10 pounds. You know, I got stock injectors, so buddy of mine, Chris, has a wideband. I've got one in my car, but he has the what do you call it? It's the wideband that you just plug in the cigarette lighter, and you know, it's Innovate, kind of a more portable handheld wideband. So I'll probably see if I can use that, and with the stock ECU, I'm just gonna see where the AFRs are in boost, and you know, see where my limit is, and just run it like that. So anyway, that's it. Roger Dodger.